Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your financial market wrap-up, and this is the night before. No, it's not Christmas tomorrow, although some will say, yes, Santa Claus is really Fed Chair Powell because he's coming down the chimney and he's going to give you a rate cut. How big? Well, it depends if you've been a good boy or a bad boy or girl. That's what it's going to be. Today is the 17th of September, 2024, and that's how tomorrow's going to be, all right? So everybody at 1 o'clock, they'll be rubbing their eyes. They'll be there in their PJs. What did Santa Powell bring me? What did Santa Powell bring me? And they'll start reacting to it. The bets on the table are real simply 50 or 25 basis points. What does the Fed say? And it's a dot plot day. So you're going to see what the other members think of the market. It is anonymous, but we're going to see where they plot out into 2025. This is a very interesting day tomorrow. So if you're trying to make heads and tails out of it, do yourself a favor. Don't. Let the report come out, see the reaction. Some people should even wait for the yin-yang, because when the Fed chair starts talking at 1:30 and goes for 45 minutes, what time is that in Asia? Most people sleep. They'll be sleeping. What time is it in Europe? It's at 2 o'clock, it's 8 o'clock or later, depending on what part of Europe you're in, right? So be careful. You get the yin-yang effect out of it. There was another event today. Did you hear about all the pagers that suddenly blew up? How, I don't know. I was amazed when I heard it, and I said, what kind of technology? And the first thing that came, well, they can do it with phones. But now as the evening's going on, some people think, again, I don't know, that the pagers that were bought had devices put in them, unbeknownst to the buyers, that Israel could trigger and blow them up. Now, how did Israel know what pagers were being bought by Hezbollah? I didn't know that you had to have all of them on the same network. That's number two. What makes you think they were all there, unless they gave them all out, 2,700 of them? But it's another one of these bewilderment things that we keep hearing about. I just wish this would all end, don't you? In the energy market, well, I was wrong today in heating oil. Yeah, I do get wrong. I thought the market would have real resistance in the neighborhood of 213.60. It did not. It finished out on the day at 214, what was that, 214.97 or so. I was wrong. All right, didn't get killed. Wrong. Very right in the dollar index, and have cut the positions down for traders in a big way. And I'll share this with you, even though you're not one of my paid subscribers. I don't want new positions on until after I see the reaction to the Fed number. This is a big deal. This isn't a little deal. It's your first rate cut. I know what to expect no matter the size of it. As we see the dot plots and we see how low they're going to take it, I realize this is the chance where now we say the Fed has the markets back. It's not going to do certain things. That is the difference you're getting right now. For the day tomorrow, you have the mortgage bankers' numbers coming out at 6. Mortgages have been falling. Those index numbers should be better. Housing starts and building permit data, well, we'll see. You know, people, have they gone in and have they said to their, on their new homes, start my home, here's money. Have they done that? Wasn't the best of summers, I can tell you that. EIA petroleum numbers coming out at 9:30 in the morning, and then the granddaddy. We're going to get the FOMC numbers, and then we get the Fed conference with Santa, if you will, Powell. So that's going to be where you're at. Let's take a look, if we could, at what the markets are. In the S&P, we've still been holding this 18-week average of closes. Market's up. You haven't gone anywhere. On a weekly basis, my friends, you are up 25 basis points. Not 25, a quarter of a percent. I'm all caught in the basis points. A quarter of a percent. You think that's a big change? By Friday, we'll have an idea what this really did. So we have a market that's come up, down, up. Now, if it drops away, is that a cup? I don't know. there's many ways you can look at this market. What if it closes over this number? Is that a breakout to the upside? If it is, the next thing traders will say is you have a shoulder, another shoulder, a head that was pretty well defined. You flip it over, and the difference between the shoulders are roughly the 50, let's call it 56.50 to 54. So that's 250 points. I add it back, and that's the 5,900 level, 58, 59, right in that zone up there. Could be. What if you break down through this? Well, then you look at some lower numbers. Anything can happen tomorrow. It's nice to know what the chart looks like, because when you go back weeks from now, this chart in most cases will not have that on the data that you're getting this bar right now, that this was the Fed Reserve day. I mean, some of them do that, all right? Thinkorswim does it. I know that. I use it. TradingView does it. I use TradingView. We don't do it on this one because I don't believe it really necessary. Some will do the elections for you. So it depends how deep you want to go in. Do you do seasonal studies? I'll use more research for that, Season X for it. So I use 2 studies on it. So there's a lot I look at. But let me tell you, for every bullish thing, there's a bearish thing often. So you got to be a bit careful. I've just learned I've been a broker since '69. Registered broker since '69. And that just tells me one thing, all right? If everybody knew what it would do, there wouldn't be any markets. You know that. If AI beat the market, they'd have all the money, the game's done. So we haven't reached that point in these markets. The trend is up, higher lows, higher highs. You see that. The market has held so far the 18-week average and the 100. The Bollinger Band number is waiting for the market at 57.22. If you take out right here, this 5,600, I think it's 5,675. Let's get the exact number. It's right here. It's 5608.75. If that's taken out, you void the uptrend and you start fighting another battle. Now remember, September is the weakest month of the year traditionally. Does it have to be? There are years where it won, so don't hang your hat on any one thing. Yes, I like the probabilities. I like the probability that you're overbought. The market's hanging in here. Most of the time you're down for this month. So the odds favor you'll take that down and do something. Okay. The NASDAQ, the battleground's crystal clear. 19,304 to 19,276. You're overbought. Trend is up. The Dow, lower low, higher high. This is the one that's been setting the record, and it's running into its resistance at the upper Bollinger Band. The Russell is one of the weakest, lower low, higher high, and overbought. So then we get to the bonds and notes. We have embedded readings. So if the red line gets under 79 and closes there, the odds favor you're going back to 114.23.5. If it stays embedded, the odds favor wherever the upper Bollinger Band is, that's a target zone. Are you embedded right through here? Well, you need 3 days to embed. You cannot count Wednesday. We just opened. But you can count Tuesday. You know what that is. You can count Monday. You were embedded there. So Friday, you were embedded. So if the market loses it, and it's right now only 80.82. If it gets under 79, again, I look for at least the 18-day average of closes. In the dollar index, the market's void of a trend right now. The bias is down. It's been breaking down. Which way is it going to react to whatever the Fed does? That becomes the difficult part. Play it with a tight stop, if you're going to play it at all. Will the euro move up on this or fall back and keep fighting at the 18-day average of closes? You have the trend down off the swing line, but you get the bias up. In the British pound, how do you want to go through the Bank of England? Now remember, both they and the Bank of Japan are going to have a chance to see what the Fed does, what the reaction to it is, and how, in their own meeting, the very next morning, what do they do? Okay, so it gets to be very interesting. Do they get swayed? Oh, the Fed won 50 points. Do they get swayed? They only won 25. They're playing it conservative, blah, blah. How does that play through their own economies? They all say, no, we're not Fed dependent. Ha! They all look at it. You know that. I know that. We're the big game in town. Higher lows, higher highs, fighting the resistance in Bitcoin, but the trend is now up. So support 59,203. The dilemma is to get the trend up, you immediately got overbought. In the crude oil, well, when you lost the embedded reading here, the odds were the market would make a run to the 18-day average. Certainly looks to me like it's doing it. Did it. Past tense. Lost the reading, went to the 18-day average. Heating oil coming up, and what did you do today? Okay, I didn't think today you were going to lose the embedded reading, and I was wrong. It came in, and the reading was 15. It means you'd have to close over 21. That's a big move to get that to occur, and lolly dolly, you had the reading, I was wrong. Okay, didn't lose the shirt. Nobody wins every trade. If you think so, why are you even looking at any of these things? He wouldn't be here, the guy that wins every trade. Why does he have to? He's going to tell you, there's the winners, go, everybody do the same thing. There'd be no market if he really knew, or she knew. I'm always fair. Higher low, higher high, got your resistance right up here. Is this market going to start peaking out and coming down with the seasonality a little later? That's one of the things we're all going to be looking at. So you put it together. I tell you ahead of time, please use caution tomorrow. I know a lot of you want to be heroes. I wish you the best, and I hope you're right, whichever way you go. I'm Ira. Remember, we have our gold report. And maybe I should remind you of that. I can't do it right there. Go to iraepstein.com. That's iraepstein.com. And you'll see on the top left the gold report. You can also go to the word research. It's there. Tomorrow it goes off our website. So I don't know the exact time. If you're going to see it, iraepstein.com. You have a great day.